Okay, so first things first, I've already taken care of my first step. I have pulled up my Linux. I have checked for any available updates, and I have updated all of those available packages. So it's safe to say that I have taken care of my first step. My second step will be to install Apache. So I'll get started on that now. Okay, and so I am back, and what I've done is type in the command sudo apt install Apache 2 and my -y to just kind of bypass. So do you want to install this, yes or no? As you can see, it's already completed. And in order to check to be sure that everything was ran the way that it should have, we're going to type in a command. Excuse me. I believe it's apache2.service. Okay, as you can see from there, it is running. It is active. Okay, perfect. So now we are going to go through and tackle our third letter of our LAMP stack and install M for MySQL. We are going to type in the command for that package. Bypass that question. Let's see. I believe it's the spacing of my command, so let's try that again. And there it is. We're going to give it a moment. And let that finish. Okay, so it has finally finished, and we are going to check the status just as we've done before. So sudo and as you can see, it is enabled, it is active, and it is running. So now off to our next step. Now, what I've done prior to setting up our last step is set my password for the MySQL server in order to secure it a bit more. I found this really good tutorial and I've taken a lot of notes. So step by step, I have altered that password. I have removed anonymous users. I've disallowed root logins remotely, and so forth. So we're all done with that step. Okay. The last thing that we're gonna set up is PHP. Command prompt. It's gonna be 3 packages. P two. Yes. I'm gonna let that install and I'll be right back when it does. Okay, so I have installed my PHP successfully. My computer died. So I had installed my PHP successfully. I am just going through the process of debugging and testing my server at this point. So I have also installed a firewall, as you can tell, and I am opening ports, just attempting to be able to access, test, and view my server. Okay. Excuse me. So I believe I have understood the error of my ways. I had to backtrack and redo quite a bit. As you can see, I'm utilizing my virtual machine, and I'm basically redoing all of the steps that I was doing earlier. So I'm doing now is I am checking for updates. There are a few. So we're installing that. I'll come back once that's been installed. Okay, and it's just about finished. Okay, and from here, I'm gonna once again install Apache. And I'll be back once that's finished as well. Okay, and then from here, we'll test our install of Apache. I think it's something like Apache 2.service. Yep. And it's enabled and active. I feel so bad that I didn't really comprehend everything that was needed at first, but I think we're alright, but let's see. And so we have Linux, Apache, now we have to do MySQL once again. Okay, so oh, I did it again. Okay. Another typo. There we are. So I'll be back once that's done as well. Okay, now we're gonna check the status of MySQL. Okay, and that too is active and running. Enabled, active and running. So now we're gonna work on our PHP, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, just thumbing through my notes. So this is I'm gonna come back when that's done as well. Okay. This assignment has really been kicking my butt. I have my lamp stack set. I have reconfigured and researched and Googled and tutorial video my way to this point. So the lamp stack is set up. My Apache is running. I've been running so many tests and attempting to debug and weave my way through my issues. So, one thing that I have been able to do is I have my public facing IP address. Woohoo. What I will now attempt to do is make sure that I have not set up any firewalls or anything to prevent it from being publicly displayed so that I may be able to test and ensure that my server is running appropriately, and B, to make sure that my SQL is able to interact with the PHP. So I'm going to, my next steps was going to ping my public facing IP address to make sure that it has connectivity and then go from there. Okay, so I have pinged my IP address and it has connectivity. Yay. So we're getting somewhere. My lamp stack is set. We have connectivity. So next thing I'm gonna try to do is get rid of the firewalls that I've constructed and go from there. Okay, the next thing I was suggested to try was checking my DNS resolution. So I checked it and that's working just fine. So next thing I'm gonna do is check the firewalls and my server status. So I've learned that the reason why my server is not displaying is because there's a problem with my port 80. I've done some tests and realized, or come to find, that it's listening to the IPv6 addresses and not the IPv4. So I need to reconfigure and alter that at this time. Okay, so I feel so much better. I had to do several things. Several rounds of trial and error. Ultimately, what I did was I uninstalled my Apache and had it reinstalled. As you can see, it's now listening regarding my port 80. So it's listening to both types of addresses, and I was able to successfully, thank goodness, bring up the Apache welcome page on my local server. I'm trying to externally still test it, but at least we've come this far, and you just do not you don't understand how long it took. But we finally done it. See, so what I'm going to still attempt to do is continue to externally view it, but I feel amazing at this point.